Hello, friends. This is Professor Googlon. On my channel, you mostly watch videos about the beautiful world around us. But today, it's a little different. What is it about? Keep watching to find out. Mayonnaise. Judging by the ingredients, Japanese mayonnaise is no different from regular mayonnaise, but it is its usage that makes the Japanese peculiar. While the rest of the world typically uses mayonnaise with sandwiches and salads, the Japanese use the traditional Kewpie mayonnaise for ice cream, chips, and even pancakes. Elevator girls. In Western countries, elevator attendants have almost become extinct. You won't find them in department stores and hotels anymore, it's cheaper that way. But in Japan, this incredible service is still available. Japanese whiskey. Have you ever heard of Japanese whiskey? It's definitely worth a try. It is available almost everywhere and quickly gaining popularity due to its quality. Suntory's Hibiki brand recently received several awards as the best whiskey in the world. So, imagine that one day you realize that you urgently need to look inside your own ears. This Japanese invention allows your dream to come true. With a special device, you can accurately determine where the biggest earwax clumps are hiding in your ear canals. Go ahead and find your ear treasures. Braille font on beer cans. When purchasing beer cans in Japan, you may come across these strange symbols. It's Braille text for the blind, who also deserve the joy of a refreshing beer can. It's a touching and obligatory care for visually impaired individuals in Japan. Variety of trains. In Japan, you can find various types of trains, such as double-decker trains, bullet trains, computer-controlled trains, retro-style trains, and more. There are even trains that would be suitable for Disneyland. Additionally, some metro cars are designated exclusively for women, allowing the female gender to protect themselves from unwanted advances. Sakura in desserts. Most often, when people hear the word sakura, they think of cherry blossoms, which are recognized as the national flower of Japan. But the residents of this country have the opportunity not only to admire this tree but also to enjoy its flowers in various desserts. During the spring season, when the cherry tree starts to bloom, you can find sweets with pink petals in the store. Lack of etiquette in public transport. In Japan, it is not customary to give up your seat in public transport. No one stands up from their seat when an elderly lady or a mother with a baby enters the subway car. Different ways to keep warm. Many people know that Japan is a relatively warm country. Compared to our Russian winters, where temperatures can drop to -30 degrees Celsius, or even lower in cold regions, the winters in the central and southern regions of Japan with temperatures of +5 to +10 degrees Celsius, or at least 0 degrees, may seem like paradise to Russian residents. Imagine a winter when there is green grass outside, some trees haven't even thought of shedding their leaves yet, and in some Japanese gardens, flowers are blooming, and fruits and berries are ripening in greenhouses. Of course, there are also northern regions located on the island of Hokkaido, where winter temperatures are close to the familiar, Russian, ones: snow, ice, below freezing temperatures, and even central heating during the cold season. Central heating? You might ask. But what about the rest of Japan? As you may have guessed, central heating is absent in homes in the other regions of the land of the rising sun. And considering that Japanese houses have thin walls, one can imagine how cold it can be inside. Often, the indoor temperature during winter is practically the same as the outdoor temperature. So, how do people live in such conditions? The Japanese are an inventive people. And, as you may have guessed, they have 1,001 inventions for heating during the cold. Kotatsu. One of the most beloved and revered ways for the Japanese to keep warm in winter is the traditional heated table called kotatsu. This simple invention looks like this. In the summer, it's an ordinary wooden table. Its only distinctive feature is the removable tabletop. In this feature lies the main secret. During winter, the table is equipped with a heating element. A large warm blanket is placed under the tabletop in such a way that people sitting at the table can cover their lower bodies, knees, legs. If the blanket is large enough, they can even be completely covered. The essence of kotatsu is that the blanket doesn't let the warm air from the heating element escape, allowing the heat to be retained within the table. The blanket itself heats up and becomes a source of warmth. In ancient times, when there was no electricity, the table would be placed over a hearth with still burning charcoal, which provided the heating effect. A person sitting at a kotatsu instantly feels warm, cozy, and comfortable. That's why in many Japanese homes during the winter season, the table becomes a gathering place for the whole family, from young to old. They eat, study, play games, read books, simply socialize, and even sleep there. It's no wonder that kotatsu is associated in Japan not only with warmth but also with the comfort and love of loved ones. Electric mats and blankets. Electric mats and blankets, respectively called denki kapedo and denki mofu, are plugged into an outlet and heat up whoever comes into direct contact with them. It's pleasant to sit on such a mat, and it's definitely enjoyable to be covered with such a blanket. If you're really cold, you can hide between them and experience unimaginable bliss. Some electric mats have the function of heating only the part that someone is sitting or standing on, which helps save electricity. Hokairo heat pads, or just kairo. Until the 20th century, the Japanese had a habit of keeping warm using onryaku, heated stones that were wrapped in fabric and hung from the waist. Smoldering charcoal dust was also used for heating, which was placed in a special container. Only after that did the kairo come about in Japan. The principle of the hokairo device is very simple. Inside a small plate, there are iron shavings with salt, which, when exposed to oxygen from the surrounding environment, start to rust actively and emit heat. One such pad can emit heat, at 50 to 70 degrees Celsius, for 8 hours. The Japanese attach these pads to their clothes, put them in their shoes, warm their hands with them, and so on. However, one must be careful with hokairo. Because heat is emitted slowly, it's possible to get a severe burn without even noticing it. Therefore, it is highly recommended not to stick such pads directly onto bare skin, only on clothing. Microwavable kairo pads contain heat-insulating gel. As the name suggests, they need to be heated in a microwave before use. They are great for relieving tension in the neck or shoulders and keeping the feet warm during the winter season. Water heaters. In Japan, houses are supplied with only one pipe for cold water, and residents have to heat the cold water for their needs themselves. Gas water heaters are usually used for heating cold water, with the control panel located inside the house, on the kitchen wall or nearby the kitchen and bathroom. Modern gas water heaters allow setting the desired water heating temperature and are straightforward to use. Just select the desired temperature on the control panel, and within a few minutes, the cold water is heated to the set temperature. Japanese homes usually have separate taps for cold water and heated water, along with the familiar mixer taps. However, in older houses, you can still find separate taps for hot and cold water supply, which is undoubtedly inconvenient to use. Washing machines typically use only cold water for washing, and additional water heating is not required as the laundry is cleaned effectively. Modern housing construction technologies in Japan also offer residents electronic artificial hot spring baths with automatic heating, equipped with timers. You can confidently fill the bath with cold water and then heat it up to the desired temperature. Friends, don't hesitate to write comments under the video about what else you would like to learn. I will definitely fulfill your wish. Bye for now.